Hello students, today we will read chapter number 4 Jainism and Buddhism part 2. Let's start. Yashodhara and gave birth to a son Rahula. The sight of an old man, a diseased man, a corpse and an ascetic turned him away from worldly life. He left home at the age of 29 in search of truth. He wandered for 7 years and met several teachers but could not get enlightenment. At last, he sat under a Bodhi tree at Bodh Gaya and did intense penance, after which he got enlightenment at the age of 35. Since then, he became known as the Buddha or the Enlightened One. He delivered his first sermon at Sarnath near Banaras, and for the next 45 years he led the life of a preacher. He died at the age of 80 at Kushinagara. The most important disciples of Buddha were Sariputta, Moggallana, Anada, Kasappa, and Upali. Kings like Prasenjit of Kosala and Bimbasara and Ajatasattu of Magadha accepted his doctrines and became his disciples. Buddha in his lifetime spread his message far and wide in North India and visited places like Banaras, Rajgiraha, Saravasti, Vaishali, Nalanda, and partly Grama. It should be not it should be noted that he did not involve himself in fruitless controversies regarding metaphysical questions like God, soul, karma, rebirth, etc., and concerned himself with the practical problems confronting men. Teaching of Buddha. The Four Noble Truths of Buddha are: the world is full of suffering, the cause of suffering is desire. If desire are get rid of, suffering can be removed. This can be done by following the Eightfold Path. The Eightfold Path consists of right view, right resolve, right speech, right conduct, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, and right concentration. Buddha neither accepts God nor rejects the existence of God. He laid great emphasis on the law of karma. He argued that the condition of a man in this life depends upon his own deeds. He taught that the soul does not exist. However, he emphasized ahimsa. By his love for human being and all living creatures, he endeared himself to all. Even under the gravest provocation, he did not show the least anger and hatred, and instead conquered everyone by his love and compassion. His religion was identical with morality and it emphasized purity of thought, word, and deed. He was a rationalist who tried to explain things in the light of reason and not on the basis of blind faith. Though he did not make a direct attack on the caste system, he was against any social distinction and threw open his order to all. Therefore, Buddhism was more a social than religious revolution. It taught the code of practical ethics and laid down the principle of social equality. Spread of Buddhism. Buddha had two kinds of disciples: monks and lay worshippers. The monks were organized into the Sangha for the purpose of spreading his teachings. The membership was open to all persons, male or female, and without any caste restrictions. There was a special code for nuns restricting their residence and movement. Sariputta, Moggallana, and Anada were some of the famous monks. The Sangha was governed on democratic lines and was empowered to enforce discipline among its members. Owing to the organized efforts made by the Sangha, Buddhism made rapid progress in North India even during Buddha's lifetime. Magadha, Kosala, Kosambi, and several republican states of North India embraced this religion. About 200 years after the death of Buddha, the famous Mauryan emperor Ashoka embraced Buddhism. Through this missionary effort, Ashoka spread Buddhism into West Asia and Ceylon. Thus, a local religious sect was transformed into a world religion. Buddhist councils. The first Buddhist council was held at Rajgarh under the chairmanship of Mahakasapa immediately after the death of Buddha. Its purpose was to maintain the purity of the teachings of the Buddha. The second Buddhist council was convened at Vaishali around 383 BC. The third Buddhist council was held at Patliputra under the patronage of Ashoka. Mogliputra Tissa presides over it. The final version of Tripitakas was completed in this council. The fourth Buddhist council was convened in Kashmir by Kanishka under the chairmanship of Vasumitra. Asvagosha participated in this council. The new school of Buddhism called Mahayana Buddhism came into existence during this council. The Buddhist preached by the Buddha and propagated by Ashoka was known as Hinayana. The Buddhist text was collected and compiled some 500 years after the death of Buddha. They are known as the Tripitakas, namely the Vinaya and the Abhidhamma Pitakas. They are written in the Pali language. Causes for the decline of Buddhism in India. The revival of Brahmanism and the rise of Bhagavatism led to the fall of popularity of Buddhism. The use of Pali, the language of the masses, as the languages of Buddhism was given up from 1st century AD. The Buddhists began to adopt Sanskrit, the language of the elite. After the birth of Mahayana Buddhism, the practice of idol worship and making offering led to the deterioration of moral standards. Moreover, the attack of the Huns in 5th and 6th centuries and the Turkish invaders in 12th century destroyed the monasteries. All these factors contributed to the decline of Buddhism in India. Contribution of Buddhism to Indian culture. Buddhism has made a remarkable contribution to the development of Indian culture. The concept of ahimsa was its chief contribution. Later, it became one of the third cherished values of our nation. Its contribution to the art and architecture of India was notable. The stupas at Sanchi, Barhat, and Gaya are wonderful pieces of architecture. Buddhism takes the credit for the chaityas and biharas in different parts of India. It promoted education through residential universities like those at Takshila, Nalanda, and Vikramshila. The language of Pali and other local languages developed through the teaching of Buddhism. It had also promoted the spread of Indian culture to other parts of Asia. Thank you.